breaking news that's coming in. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to visit China for the SCO summit, or the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, that is set to be held at the end of this month, the end of August. That's the news that's coming in a big move, in a big diplomatic move. We understand now that Prime Minister Modi will be visiting China himself and attending that Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit. It's the first visit to China by India's Prime Minister post the standoff in Galwan. A big move in the scheme of the evolving relations between India and China. Prime Minister Modi making his first trip to the country in the aftermath of the Galwan standoff. Bear in mind, no visit for any reason, be it for bilateral or for a global forum, has been made by the Prime Minister since the Galwan standoff. And now all that changes. We have our Deputy Managing Editor Kartikeya Sharma now joining us on the broadcast for more. Kartikeya, this is a big diplomatic move by India and India's Prime Minister.
I think that's what real politics is all about. Post Galwan, this will be the first visit of the India's Prime Minister to China. But let me tell you that this is not a standalone China meet. There's a caveat. Prime Minister will be on a probably two-day tour to China and Japan, and for the SCO meeting. So he will also be visiting Japan. Prime Minister is expected to be in China on 31st, but he is also visiting Japan. So he is on a two-nation tour. Now, how much to read into the meeting which the Prime Minister will have will depend on what sort of a bilateral Prime Minister can have in Beijing. Any diplomatic meeting between Xi Jinping and Narendra Modi, we must not read much into it, because the issues are so complex. It requires some sort of a structured interaction. And I don't think that the relationship between and the issues that are there between India and China can be resolved in a meeting. You see, there are two pending issues right now apart from the border issue. I'm saying apart from the border issue, which will take a lot of time. And China uses border issue to pressurize India. I think there is an issue of Dalai Lama. There is an issue of American tariffs and sanctions. There is also an issue of normalization of border post Galwan. There is also an issue of, I would say, import-export. We are dependent on rare earth material from China like many other countries. And so it's a transactional issue. There are a lot of other things apart from what we think and should be resolved. So whenever we talk about China, so there's a difference between what should be and what can be. And in context of what can be, I think it is like a baby step. We do not have to think on the line that something dramatic has to take place. I think dramatic things don't take place in diplomacy. What is important is the baby step has been taken after Galwan, which is an important step. It's a small step, but nonetheless it's an important step. But we must also understand that during Operation Sindhu, it was China that was in cooperation with Pakistan and other countries which were supporting Pakistan, Turkey. So it was the China, Turkey, Pakistan axis that was in operation. So I don't look anything deep into this or extremely path-breaking into this meeting, Krishna, but I would definitely say that in geopolitics, the matrix is changing. Trump has suddenly taken a lot of anti-India position, and China is our neighbor. We can't wish away our neighbor. How much the problem is. And Prime Minister Modi is a realist. And let me tell you how he's a realist. Despite so much of public position that Moizu took on the issue of India, Prime Minister responded on a very restrained mode. Instead of coming to India, that used to be a tradition, Moizu first visited Istanbul, went to Ankara, then he went to Beijing, and then he came to India. A week back, there has been a Maldives India reset, and the Prime Minister was part of the Independence Day parade of Maldives, and he was there. So things can change. India is definitely facing hostile neighborhood. Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, Pakistan, even Sri Lanka, time to time, because of the populist nature of its democracy, takes an anti-India position. Even Nepal, when I say Nepal, it's not AISI which is doing the renovation of the old Kathmandu. It's a Chinese firm that is doing it. And despite Nepal and India being cultural brothers, I mean, say it's 90% Hindu. They come to India for the major rites. They visit India for major religious festivals. Only the erstwhile king of Nepal is allowed to enter the Garbhagriha in the Kashi Vishwanath temple. So, despite that, we are still at odds with them. So the Prime Minister's movement has to see, we've seen in a larger choreography, which Trump has affected, a larger change that Trump has affected globally. So I would say that one has to look at it from a larger perspective, not like a breakthrough, but an important step whereby he is there in China.